You wish to have the curse reversed? Magic.
Well, a baker and his wife want to end a curse on their family, so they've been sent on a quest by a witch. That quest includes getting items from famous fairy tales. Angelina Jolie directed Unbroken, which tells the extraordinary tale of Louis Zamperini. The Olympian survived a near-fatal plane crash in World War II and then spent. We'll get to that here in a moment, I believe. So,
yes.
So, Aaron, I'm not sure which movie we're on right now, but
we'll do Into the Woods.
Okay.
Let's start there.
Let's talk there.
I love it when I get to review a movie that I love,
yes.
and I loved this movie. Now, this is based on a play that's been around for, I think, 30 years, and kind of combines all these fairy tales into a story and puts all these characters that we know and love in kind of different situation. But this one succeeds, especially as a musical. Now, if you don't like musicals, then you probably won't like it, because that's what this is. Most of it is sung, but these songs are wonderful. They're great. The performances are really good. You saw Meryl Streep there. She's incredible. I think Anna Kendrick, who's in this, is very, very good. Chris Pine does an amazing job. And I love it when these actors who we know are great actors can come in and be great singers, too.
That's hard.
Yeah, it really is. And I really love what they do here. Emily Blunt, who you see there, is also amazing. This is just a really well-made film that really pulls you in and does a great job. And I also loved the themes of this movie. You know, you talk about going into the woods, and this movie's a little deeper than you would think, because we've all been in those places in our lives where we've been in the woods, so to speak, you know, where you go into the woods. And this film kind of takes all of that and takes a look at what that means in your life, but kind of does it in this fairy tale kind of way. So it's really interesting, and then it brings that fairy tale kind of into real life. I really loved this movie. I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah. And we were talking about it is hard to act and sing, or at least be able to do both. These are the actual actors singing right here.
Yes,
so,
it actually is. And it's one of those things where they don't actually sing it as they're acting it. It's probably recorded and they lip sync to it, which I actually found a little distracting, but overall I really loved it. Let's do best thing, worst thing for Into the Woods. Best thing for Into the Woods, I said, yep, it's Meryl. She's incredible. You always expect her to be amazing, and she is in this. As far as worst thing, I said the canned tunes, like I just talked about, just because it's much more. Remember when Les Mis did it on set? Right. And I thought that was really powerful. Here you can tell it's recorded. It doesn't take much overall away from it. Still, I say overall, it's an A.
Hey, got to go see that one then. All right, now we're on to Unbroken, directed by Angelina Jolie.
That's the one Angelina Jolie directed, and it tells this tale of this Olympian who then ends up going to war, and it's this incredible true story of this man and kind of what he had to face throughout the war. And this is another one. I'm a sucker for true stories. I just love them. I love to know kind of the ins and outs of what happened, and I love what Hollywood does with them. And Angelina Jolie does a really good job here of portraying this story and what this man goes through. One thing about this story is there are two kind of major conflicts he goes through in his time in the war. And unfortunately, the most interesting one, the most compelling one, is in the middle. Not the end.
Is that right?
So you get through the middle part and you're like, wow, all this survival stuff and everything. And then you get to the last part of it and it kind of feels like it drags a little bit because it's a little less interesting. Having said that, it's still pretty interesting stuff, and it's a pretty amazing true story.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the promotions for that, and it looks very. I love biographies as well. So just hearing somebody's story, and this sounds like a very amazing story.
Yeah, it's an incredible biopic, and one you might want to check out this weekend. We can do best thing, worst thing.
Let's talk about that.
For Unbroken. As far as the best thing for Unbroken, I said battle tested. And what I mean by that is this movie does a really good job of taking its pieces and putting them exactly where they need to be. You can tell this group has experience. It's done very competently and professionally. As far as worst thing, I said basic training. The overall feel is just a little basic. It feels like you've been here before. There's nothing spectacular or special. It just tells the story like they want to tell it, which overall is still really good. I say a B.
All right, in and out. And also, a lot of people talking about The Interview. Wasn't supposed to happen at all, and now it's in some of these theaters.
Man, what a story, right? It's kind of, you know, the cancellation, and then they reversed it, and then all this stuff going on. But there's actually a movie underneath all that story, which I actually got a chance to see. And it's a ho-hum movie. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things where the story outshines the actual product itself. If you're wondering, and a lot of the surprise I'm seeing is that this movie that's causing so much flack, it's just a stupid comedy. It's not even like it's a drama and it means a lot. And, you know, I mean, I guess there is some, you know, some meaning and some philosophy that's underneath
Sure,
there.
right.
But overall, it's really just kind of a silly comedy with Seth Rogen and James Franco, and it's kind of a mediocre movie when all is said and done. But it's just the interesting story, I think, that kind of gets people interested in what's going on. So if you go to see it, don't expect something too deep. It's really just a couple guys being silly.
And that's kind of what I've heard. It's had there not been all the media frenzy behind it, who knows what we'd be hearing about it.
And I will have a full review of that up at the website. If you go to ky3.com and you click on entertainment, it'll say movies there. Go there, you'll see a full review of that movie, as well as Big Eyes, which came out this Christmas season, and several others that you might be interested in seeing.
We'll check it out. Thanks again, Aaron. Appreciate it. All right. Up next, FYI guy Jeremy Rabe has an easy way to make delicious apple pie muffins. Stay with us.